All right, family. We black again. We black again. It's the Truth Hour with General Sarasu Seti. Kick back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. That's right, family. This Sunday is going down. It's going down, family. Uh, did ancient African scientists graft the other races? We got to look at it. We got to look at it. I know some of y'all saying, man, what this nigga said he talking about? The truth. Nothing but the truth. That's what I'm talking about. And so we want you to have yourself in the place. Click the link. The link is right there in the chat room. Is also, and Ray got it in there too. It's in the video description. It's gonna be all powerful. I'm gonna be doing a serious preview tomorrow. You should be, and when I put it up there, I'm gonna give you the rundown of all the subjects we will be discussing tonight. Actually, after this one, we'll be having on Patreon. I'll be looking at Hitler and Yakub. You see, because we're going to look at the grafting program of the SS. Eugenics is actually that same grafting, you understand what I'm saying, but for a different purpose. But you see what I'm saying? So you got to understand that a lot of people get caught up in the Yakub story. That's just parable that teach the truth. Okay, so you don't get caught up in that. You see? Ring the alarm, KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarasu and Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts and hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry. We got that for you, family. We got some fly jewelry, necklaces, medallions for you, bracelets, earrings. We got brothers. We got some heavy medallions and necklaces for you too. We also got holistic herbal tonics and remedies. Health is wealth. You need that. We have home decor accessories for every room in the house: living room, dining room, kitchen, and bathroom. Check us out. We got 20% off at this time. I already know if you can come and find you some beautiful product and get you a discount on top of that. All right, family, KingSeti.com. Pull the fire alarm, family. GeneralSeti.com. SETI University, over 900 video presentations on African history, heritage, spirituality, nation building, mental warfare. You see, we have that. Advanced African Academics, the complete General Sarasu and Seti website, developing the Black nation one lesson at a time. And so, just like I just told you on Patreon tonight, we got it popping. You see, Hitler and Yakub, the grafting program of the SS, which they had one where they was trying to bring about the pure Aryan race, blind, blue eye, where they was grafting out all what they call, the diseases that then got off into the decrepits and the imbeciles and those that had diseases and and those who had mixed their blood and to the point where you couldn't even get married without a certificate that you had went through. You see, they doctors to see if you was a purebred. You see what I'm saying? So they were in a grafting program to bring about a blind, blue-eyed, all blind, blue-eyed race. So you keep thinking that this shit, but it's real. The science is real. So tonight we're gonna look at that so you can see the blueprint, a preview of what's going down this Sunday. It's gonna be fire, family. And so Patreon, we keep it popping. I'm gonna drop. Did I drop that in there? Let me drop it in there for you. Let me drop that in there. Oh, I dropped it in there. I'll drop it in there for you again. You see, make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, General Seti, King Seti, Sarasu and Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid. Because I will ban your ass. You will be up out of there. All right, let's get into it, family. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Keep it moving. This it. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Here we go, right here. Okay. Bingo. So as you can see, family, Hitler, in all what he was, what he was trying to achieve. You see, in all the things that he was. Wait a minute, let me put that back over there. Let me put that back over there. All the things that he was trying to achieve. He was grafting to bring about some form of what he thought was racial purity. You see? And so, a lot of what, what went on with the so-called Jews in Germany, which also included blacks, also included any type of, what they considered racial impurities. You see lesser beings. You see lesser beings. And so when we talk about this Aryan, it say Hitler wanted to develop an Aryan racial state to dominate Europe and possibly the world. You see? And so, and I'm gonna get on, this was Adam and Eve only the first white man and white woman. True for the premeditated Kushite. And so this is what I'm gonna be dealing with on Patreon. I almost went into it. You understand? I almost went into it. But that's all right. Here we go. Bingo. I almost went into it. I got so many going on. And so the thing is that really, when we deal with this, was Adam and Eve only the first white man and white woman, true for the Adamite Kushite. You see, so when you talk about the pre-Adamites, you see, we ain't giving no credence to the Bible. You see, but the thing is, when you lie like that, you see, then the inconsistencies, you know what I'm saying? The inconsistencies of the lies begin to pile up and they begin to contradict themselves. You see, and so I've always brought this up because we understand that God is the Son. You go in the Catholic Church, God is the Son. You see him right up there on in the back, and they got the Son disc up there, and they got IHS, which is a monogram for Jesus Christ. When you look on the Quran, it's the Son. It's the Son. That's exactly what it is. And so when it says the Lord God is the sun and the shield, the Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. And so there's a twofold understanding to uprightly. You see, it's a twofold understanding to uprightly. And so the thing is, which a lot of people have always asked the question is, and is two people on the planet, then it's four. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, goddamn, it's only two people, and they got a baby and shit, and then they have another baby. So you got four people. That's not hard to count to four. You see? And then Cain, and we'll get off into Cain. And see, this is where we get, because it's a misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? Because you got Adham. You see, not Adam. You see, Adham means black. You see, Adam, in many understanding, is red. You see, is red. And so we got to understand what the red is for, because there is some metaphysical. You see, it's some parables that are there for you to have to pull the veil back to get at the truth, what the red actually means. You see, it means, yes, it does mean that the skin is red. You see, but when you understand that the Lord God is a sun and a shield, you will understand why. You see, you will understand why. Everything, if you don't understand that this, when you dealing with most religion, if you don't understand that God is the sun, you're not going to understand the truth of what is being taught. You see, you're going to look at it for a layman's understanding. You know, you're going to look at it for face value, and it cannot be understood for face value. You see, you have to peel back the veil. You see, even when these niggas talking about the Anunnaki is us. You see, we the one did the grafting. How else is it gonna happen like that? You see, you know, where did they come from? Where did they come from? You're gonna have to tell the truth, and nobody knows and because they don't have a natural origin. You see, they don't have a natural origin of where they come from. And so, which means that it was, you know, somehow they were created. You see, you understand what I'm saying? They were created, isolated, and created. You understand, and foisted upon the world. You understand, out of nowhere. You see, that's, you know, that's something that has been created and isolated. You understand what I'm saying? To get a creation like that. You know what I'm saying? And so when you look and you understand the concept of red, because they said Adam was ruddy. You understand what I'm saying? They say that about a lot of them. You see? You know, and they use that term. Do I got that there? Let me see. That's not gonna be it. But anyway, I can move. I'll move past that. You see, and what you got to understand, you see, when you start talking about ruddy, you see, you get at the root of it, you get rude, but you get crude, and and you get rage. You see, the red, when they always want to show somebody enraged, you see, they'll show red. Just like when they show the honk. You see, they show the honk, they say that red rage, and so you'll understand because when you see when you see Adam and Eve, they are expelled from the garden. They are expelled from the garden, and you see they went out in shame. You see, they went out in shame. That's clear. You know, when you see your face, your hands in your face, that means you are shamed. You see, so they left in shame. But see, like I said, if you don't understand that God is the Son in all instances, you see, God is the Son. So once you understand what was the shame, what was the shame? You see, and the shame was not having melanin. That's what it boils down to. You know, you got to look at this deep thing here. This is not nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. This is something that's ancient that they living with. They turmoil to come down into societies. You see, to come down into and be rejected. Now that's why they reject you. You don't understand what happened prior to this. You see, now they reject you. So there's an ancient, and so you got to understand when it said, let us create man. You see, it say what does it say? One big step for man, one greater step for mankind. One step for man, one giant leap for mankind. You see, one step for man, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. A kind of a man. You see, a kind of a man. Who is man and who is mankind? A kind. Wait a minute. Let's look that up. Let's look that up, y'all. Let's look that up. Kind. Let's see what that means. So we understand this shit. A type. See? A variety, a form of, a category. You see? A species, a breed, a strain. You see? A strain of a man. You see? A version of a man. See? A species of a man. A class of a man, a type of a man, a mankind, a kind of a man. And so we have to look at that when people speak. You see, they distinguishing from man and mankind. You see, and so when we look at this, we look at this. Even when we discussing the earlier, Adam and Eve. Matter of fact, let me throw that in there so y'all can see that. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. You see? And so this is a kind of man. And so, even when we see, anything you see here, I just let it speak for itself. I don't add nothing to it. Because they're saying, images is worth 1,000 words. For the Lord God is a sun and a shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. Huh? Okay. I let that be. You see, I let it speak for itself. You niggas can run and hide and do whatever you feel. You understand what I'm saying? And this was one thing that I always brought up. I didn't hear nobody bring it up. I brought the shit up. Okay, I don't make shit up. When I say, well, goddamn, why do they always got on caveman uniform? These motherfuckers supposed to be in Africa. The hell you gonna be in Africa with a goddamn bear skin on and shit? They got on caveman uniform, and I say, let me go find a caveman. And then I put it up there. I say, well, damn, Adam and Eve got the same goddamn clothing on, or the damn bear skins that the goddamn caveman got. The hell you gonna be in Africa with all that damn fur on your goddamn motherfucker trying to be free as possible and shit? It's hot as hell. You understand? Them motherfucker trying to find a river to jump in. What the fuck gonna be walking around with a goddamn bear skin on their back? And you in the heart of Africa, nigga, you on the equator. Ethiopia, nigga, you are damn near on the equator. It's hot as hell. You see what I'm saying? And so the thing I kept understanding, and I looked, I say, you know what? Even when you dealing with the fact that, when you dealing with the fact that even after that, when Adam and Cain murdered his brother, he left and went into the land of Nod. How the fuck you gonna go into the land of Nod? What land is that? Ain't there supposed to be no land. It's damn near. It's only 3 people on the planet. What's going on? You see, there's something that is much that's not being told. And it ain't that it's not that they left anything. They just started the book. You understand what I'm saying? Thinking that they could delete the world prior to them coming into existence, but they could not. And the inconsistencies in the stories that they telling is piling up. So this man went into the land of Nod, and I'm gonna tell you what that means. It's the land of nowhere. You see, when I'm gonna tell y'all that don't try to find it. Yeah, that shit gonna be up there in Russia somewhere. That's where it's gonna be. It's when you say Nod, you got to understand, and because people gonna be like, where's that at? It is the land of nowhere is where it's at. So you don't think that and that mean that where they went, it was a land of caves, and it was emptiness, sorrow. You see what I'm saying? It was totally opposite of the paradise of Africa. You see, and so they were not created in Africa. You understand what I'm saying? They were created, and when the first opportunity that they came in contact with Africa, they were repulsed out, and this is where they get the shame and of that you see Adam and Eve. You understand what I'm saying? Because the people had not seen anything like that. And so they were, they were horrified. And so in that shame, you have to understand they went up in isolation again. And with that isolation, sitting it turned into a rage, and then it was strategized into revenge. So after the rage came revenge. You understand what I'm saying? How did this happen to us? How could this happen? You see, and so in many instances, when they show you, like this picture here, you see how they at, where they at. I'm gonna show you. So a man think of in their heart and mind, so is he and she. I want you to, and you know what a man or a woman think about what they creative in. So when you see this particular one, you see the gloom. And you can see they they up in the caves. They in the caves. You see? Wait a minute. Here, look at this. See the gloom. They've been put out. Go back to from whence thou came. You see? And so you see the land of Nod. The land of Nod is the land of nowhere. It's the land of gloom. It's the land of doom. You see? It's the land of doom. So you have to understand. Don't go looking for it because it's nowhere. You see? It's nowhere. And you're a fool if you think you're going to find it. So it says, even in Genesis 6, chapter 6, verse 6, it says, and it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And it grieved him at his heart. That's right. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord. That's what it said. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. Don't go look for it. And it says that Genesis 4:17 relates that after arriving in the land of Nod, Cain's wife bore him a son. Now, where he get the wife from? We don't have to go see, because when you trying to analyze parables and shit, and you get lost. You get lost. Them peoples was created. You know what I'm saying? And it was all, and so they they had procreated. So it wasn't like, so when they was Adam and Eve is symbolically the first man, but this was really the first contact that our people had with them as a people. And so they created parables and to understand this and relay this message. You see, and says, and Cain's wife bore him a son, Enoch, in whose name he built the first city. What the hell he gonna build a city for if it ain't enough people? You ain't on your own, motherfucker. If it's only 2, 3 people, you get you a motherfucking hut. You ain't gonna need no damn city. And then it relates that all of his sons had sons. You see, all of his sons. And so what are you talking about then? Where did these people come from? If where did these people come from? So they had to, already, been here. Now, a lot of people talk about the pre-Adamites and this, that, but that ain't got nothing to do with We don't have nothing to do with that story at all. You see, when they start identifying us, you see, and this is another thing when you start talking about the Egypt thing, and you start talking, when they get to talking about that Egypt was after the flood. That's what they needed. See, they needed some global catastrophe where they could it could appear that God wiped out the world. See, and that's their way of washing the slate clean. So they thought that they could get away with it, and that they could wash away all of the ancient societies that existed before they come on the scene. And so that's what the Noah story is for, to do that. You see? And so what they, until people look at the story with some serious, with some serious wisdom and knowledge, and not get caught up in the lies of the Bible, where it say that, because when you look at, according to the Bible, there is no Egypt, there is no Ethiopia, there's no Mesopotamia, there's no none of them civilizations until after the flood. And so these people date the flood at around 2344. So that's a bunch of bullshit. And see what they did, another thing, because we could prove that Egypt existed. So that destroys the flood. It destroys, because, I dated the time of the flood. It was during the time of Unis, King Unis, I believe. And that would have been, I believe, in the sixth, I believe it was the sixth dynasty. I believe it was the sixth dynasty that Unis, matter of fact, I want to see if I'm right. Okay. He was the last ruler of the fifth dynasty. I was close. He was the last ruler of the fifth dynasty. Okay. And so he reigned during the time. Let me see, what time do they give you? It says, right, it just says the mid 24th century, which was at the same time of the flood. At the same time of the flood. Now that right there, that destroys it. Because first and foremost, you got you got five, because he's the last king of the fifth dynasty. So you done already had 5 dynasties before the flood. And it should not be no Egypt before the flood, because it was only 8 people that got on the boat. Noah, his wife, Ham, his wife, Shem, his wife, Japheth, and his wife. So only 8 people got off the boat. So all their children was after the flood. It should not have been no Egypt before the flood. That deep, that boom, boom. That's heavy. That right there is ruptures. That's like the most damaging fact for me. You understand what I'm saying? And the reality is, when you look at all the monuments, it's no way possible that you could create all of those monuments that are in Egypt and Nubia in such a small amount of time, and coming from 8 people. God damn, you coming from 8 people? You mean to tell me you got to repopulate the earth with 8 people? So at the time, after about 400 years of after the flood, when Jacob comes into Egypt, the so-called Israelites are only 77 people. And so, that's what really shows you the Preadamites, because, you got Ham, and his children supposedly are Egypt and Ethiopia and Canaan and Punt. All of them is nations. But yet Shem, Ham, and Japheth got off the boat at the same fucking time. How is it that Ham's children, Egypt, we just saying that hypothetically, Egypt, Ethiopia, or Canaan, how did they grow to be nations so quickly, while the Shemites was still 77, a tribe, still a tribe of 77 people? How did they populate so fast? The fact was, these nations already existed long before the Bible, but long before they lies. You see what I'm saying? And so that's where, and keep slipping up. And it's a lot of European people that have already, which I'm going to bring out this Sunday, did it, ancient African scientists graft the other races. Europeans already, I don't want y'all to think that they have never understood what we're talking about. Many of them have already spoken this. You see what I'm saying? They're not stupid. You see what I'm saying? They're not stupid. And so that's something that's very key that really proves, you know what I'm saying, that there were people here before some Adam, in which is a mythological individual. You cannot gauge or a timeline by any of these people in the Bible. Just like people call, they got languages called Semitic. Ain't no fucking Semitic. There is no language called Semitic. How the hell you gonna name a language after a mythological character that never existed? You see, there has never been a Shem, because once you prove that there was Egypt and Ethiopia, that blows the shit out of the flood story, because not only did the flood happen at the time, and the time that is given of the flood is given by the Jews and the Christians. So you cannot be mad about that. Don't think, they the one, because they saying that the world started around 4,000 and 4002 BC. They the one gave that date. So that's on y'all motherfuckers. And so when you go by the genealogies of the so-called prophets, and you come down from Adam to Noah, from Noah to Abraham, and you can count the years in which they lived. And so that's how you get 2,344. And so that falls during the time of Unis. Now, even if you say, okay, it's Egypt and there was a flood, it should have abruptly stopped the Egyptian chronology. It shouldn't have been no more kings after that. It should have been the end of the world, and Unis should have been there, but it kept going. It kept going. That was just the 5th dynasty. He was the last king of the 5th dynasty. But when you go to the Abydos kings list, and you got that's to the 19th dynasty. And so you got 2 kings out of the 19th dynasty, Ramesses the first and Seti the first. You see, matter of fact, but his son Ramesses the second is on that list, but he hasn't reached, he's not the king. So his name is not even on but damn, look how many kings came after Ramesses the second. So there is no flood. You see, and so that destroys the story of Noah. That destroys the story of Ham, Shem, and Japheth. You understand? Or at least any African races coming from, ain't got nothing to. So if y'all want to relate that to Caucasians, you can. But Ham is not the father of Egypt. That destroys that. And so all of that mythology that you have anywhere in the Bible relating Egypt and Cush and Canaan and, to Ham, that shit should disappear. They got this new episode out here. It's like some raps, like the end of the world. Where y'all seen that? Where motherfuckers just start disappearing and shit. It's like the rapture, and that soul star, motherfuckers get to evaporating right there in front of your eyes, and motherfuckers looking shocked and shit. And it's supposed to be the end of the world. Well, that's how every verse in the Bible that relates to Egypt and Ethiopia and Canaan and all that shit should just evaporate up out the Bible, because that shit is blown. And so that leaves great holes in the book. You see what I'm saying? It's no longer a book, and I don't give a fuck what nobody say. It's over for that. It's nothing that they could do with that. You see what I'm saying? It's nothing that they could do with it. And so again, there is no Semitic language, because really it's Shemitic. You understand what I'm saying? Coming from Shem. So you cannot identify a language as Semitic or Shemitic based on a mythological character that never existed. And see, this is how they get over on nigga. This is Semitic and this is Coptic, the last, and they creating all these myths to steal your legacy, family. I want you to wake up, family. I'm going over to Patreon. We about to get busy. If you won't come on over, we Hitler and Yakub, the grafting program of the SS, we're gonna show and prove. You understand what I'm saying? Where they was using a grafting process to try to bring about a pure Aryan race. You see what I'm saying? Trying to bring about a pure Aryan race. And so don't get caught up in the myth. Don't get caught up in the parable. You understand what I'm saying? Look at the science. Look at the real science, family. This is the General Sarasu and said he's saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily, liberation through African education. And listen, after I come off Patreon, this is a hell of a night. I'll be black. I'll be black on YouTube with a couple more fire ass presentations. All right, family, Black Power.